Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kemi, and I'm here to talk about Beyond the Gates Season 2, Episode 32. So, we start the episode off with Bill and Hayley. They're at the office, and Bill doesn't want Hayley to be there long. He's just like, we're gonna work a couple hours, and then we going back to the room. Hayley's trying to talk him out of it, but Bill ain't having it. He's just like, we still don't know who did it. We don't know where your stuff is, so we not, we not gonna be here. We're gonna be here, but not for a long time. We're not gonna be here for a long time. So she leaves to go do something, and Bill makes a call. He calls, what's that man's name? What's that man's name? Joey. Sorry. So he calls Joey and he tasks Joey to find out who did it because the police ain't working fast enough. Um so Joey's just like, all right, I'm gonna find out who did it, because if I find out who did it, then you're gonna owe me. So he wants Bill to owe him. So we see him telling Randy, like, I'm sure he called Randy in and he was just like, I'm sure you know what's happened to Miss Hamilton. Because Joey thinks that they're having an affair or whatever. And so he tells him, look, I don't know what you and her are up to or what kind of love affair y'all got going on, but I need you to find out who mugged her, because I need Bill to owe me. Like, I need him to be in my back pocket. So do what you're supposed to do as my enforcer and find out who done knocked Hayley upside her head, basically. So we see Hayley, she's coming back from doing something, and she runs into Tomas, and Tomas is just like, he's checking on her and just like, hope everything is going well with you. I do want to let you know that I understand that um he was just like, I understand that you don't have friends in town, but it's not your job to be a messenger, basically. And so she not that she gets offended, but she is playing in his face because he is asking the right questions. And I hate that I have to give him that, but he is asking all the right questions because yes, when before you became Mrs. Hamilton, um you wasn't trying to do anything outside of protocol. But now that you Mrs. Hamilton, now you want to all of a sudden start doing stuff against protocol. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, just because you got the Mrs. in front of your name, why would you start doing stuff that will actually go against the company? Because again, you have the Mrs. in front of your name and you're a paralegal. I'm the lawyer. So, she plays hurt, like, you're just a junior partner, and don't forget that Mrs. Trump's anything or something like that. And I can get you could lose your job or some stuff like that. And it was just like, girl, you are barely a paralegal, if that. Like, you're a artist. Like, do you have a license to be a paralegal? Like, I need to know, like, what is it that you do? Because clearly you haven't been doing anything but trying to con this man, and all you've been doing is feeding him tea. So they're going, he like, she's like, trying to, gaslight him or whatever. And Bill comes out and he's just like, what's going on? And so Hayley, flips it on him, on Tomas, and Bill ain't having it. He's pissed. He's just like, he calls Caroline in, and he's telling Caroline to come. I'm sorry. He's telling Caroline to come in and take Hayley back to the hotel. So he takes, Caroline leaves. She takes back Hayley back to the hotel, and Tomas goes in on, I mean, not Tomas, but Bill goes in on Tomas. And he's just like, don't forget who you are. Don't forget your place. And you need to keep your mouth shut, basically. So you like threatening this man, like be quiet or you gonna be gone or whatever. So Tomas is just like, got it, understood, no more questions. So he leaves the office and he makes a phone call. We see Hayley and Caroline. They're back in the hotel, and Caroline is being a kiss ass, and she's just like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened to you," and da 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 all this other stuff. And it's just like, girl, who do you want? Do you want Hayley or do you want Bill? Because I know you want one of them. Maybe you want both of them, but I digress. So she's, doing the absolute most with Hayley and reassuring her that, she is the wife and all this other stuff. And Hayley was just like, yes, you need to let all the partners, everybody in that office know that this Mrs. Hamilton is here to stay. And it's just like, no, you're not, because that man is slowly but surely running back to Dani. And you see that. That's why you got yourself punched in the face. But I digress. So we see, who do we see next? Sorry. Um we see Dani. She's visiting Nicole and she wants to talk to her and basically check, temp check where she at with the whole Shanice and Ted situation. So she tells her, I ran into him. Me and Andre ran into him on Valentine's, and um, I see he bought her a dress, and she was just like, yeah, she was just like, I know they're dating. I got caught a glimpse of the dress when he gave it to her. So I know all of this. And Dani was just like, but that's like girlfriend material. Like, have you really moved on? And so Nicole was just like, yes, I have. She was just like, yes, I'm okay. I'm the one that filed for divorce. She was just like, I didn't expect him to find somebody that she liked. And when she saw them together, she was hit with wonder. Like her vision, she always had a vision that she was, her vision was always her and not Andre, her and Ted holding hands forever and ever in this lifetime and the next, basically. And now she can't see whose hand she's holding, if she's holding anybody's hands, and her focus is just, her family, her kids, her work, and she likes where she's at right now. She likes the um place that she's in right now, learning the new her, and she doesn't want to skip to the end to see, whose hand, if anybody's hand, is that she's holding at the end of, time or whatever. She's happy that Ted has moved on. She's happy that he's not with Leslie. So then Dani tells her that, we ran into Leslie and we gave her a piece of our mind or whatever. So Nicole is just like, man, I wish I could have been there to see that. And it was just like, you would have been there to see that had you never told your sister not to go after that girl the first time y'all saw her at Uptown when she first got her money. You should have let your sister let loose and let ham on that girl, but you didn't let that happen. So this is where we are. But I digress. So Dani wants to make sure that she was just like, I just want to make sure we don't hate Shanice because, I could scalp a bee. And she was just like, no, we like Shanice. You like her. We are good. And she says, yeah, so, Nicole tells her to stand down. They talk about Dani going back to modeling, and, she's happy that she's finally, doing what she loves or whatever. Dani, she talks about taking for granted, she talks about taking for granted how much family that she has, because she's just like, I could turn a corner and I can run into a Dupree, but Andre doesn't have that. All he has is Ted. And Nicole was just like, he still has me. And she was just like, yes, but honestly, he only has one family member left. And because of how Ted and Nicole ended, and then they began, Dani wants to ask, she's basically asking Nicole if it's okay if she brings Ted around for Andre's sake. And Nicole was just like, so you want Ted and Shanice to be your couple friends? And she was just like, for Andre. And Nicole was just like, girl, do you? I'm okay. With I'm okay being around Ted. And if he is being your couple friend and dating Shanice, that keeps him from being all in my business. And I was just like, I know that's right. So she, Dani then asked her, like, who's better? And Nicole was just like, they both give me something. And she was just like, well, why, like what, who holds up? Like, girl, why can't we talk about these things? And she was just like, because you're dating because you're married to my nephew. And Dani was just like, okay, fine. And so Nicole tells her about, her conversation with Vanessa. And Dani was just like, first of all, you not sleeping with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. She ain't say it like that, but that's how I said it. But you're only with two guys, and that's okay. You don't need to do the most. And she was just like, well, I mean, if I add another man to my roster, it is what it is. And I was just like, yes, it is, but please don't sleep with that one. If you're going to sleep with that one, you got to stop sleeping with another one. But I digress. So what else happened? Dani tells her to protect her heart, and Nicole tells her, don't worry about me. I'm not gonna fall in love. And Dani was just like, that's what they all say, because I said I wasn't gonna fall in love, and look at me now. Look at me now. So we see what's these people's names? Sorry. We see Shanice and not Shanice and Dani. Shanice and Ted, they're at Orphe Jeans, and they're, discussing about how they had a good time the other night and all night and this morning and this after they had a good time. So he wants to play hooky since she's off. So he calls Carlton to ask him if Carlton can work, like, do his follow-ups for him. But Carlton was just like, no, I can't. I gotta go back in because one of my patients woke up with blood, so I have to go back in or whatever. So Ted was just like, all right, let me come in so we can work on it together. So he tells Shanice, and they make plans to see each other later. We see Derek. He is with Ashley Light, and they're on a date. It doesn't go well. All she does is talk about the firehouse, and he is, sad about it or whatever. She has to leave because she got a call and she got to go babysit her niece and nephew. So Shanice, because she was at Orphe Jeans, she sees them leaving, and Derek looks sad. So once Ted leaves, she goes to Derek, and they start talking about him dating, and he's just like, I want to move past this life, but dating her won't be good because like all I'm gonna always think about when I'm with her is the firehouse. And I'm mad that they let that other girl, the one that he was making out with in Ashley apartment, I'm mad that we didn't see her again because they was cute, but whatever. So he he tells her about the offer that Leslie gave him to work at the clinic, and she was just like, do it. And I was just like, are you dumb? Like, why would you even want him to be in Leslie's vicinity? And he was just like, are you crazy? Like, that girl she is certifiable. And she was just like, she's not going to be hands-on. Do you think she's going to be a worker bee? And it's just like, have you not seen this lady? When she becomes obsessed with something, she is obsessed with that something. And she has been obsessed with this clinic. So what makes you think that she's not going to be there every step of the way, even after the fact? So he says he'll think about it. She says, let's put you on a dating apps. So they're going to go on the dating apps or whatever. We see, I don't know why I want to call her Olive Oil. Sorry. We see Ashley and she's at the hospital. She calls Grayson up. Grayson comes over and she gives him a folder of um not home not home health cares, but assisted living places or something like she gives him some stuff to look at because she went and researched some stuff for him so he can put his mom in one of these places or whatever. And he was just like, thanks, but no thanks. I've already done all this research and I can't afford these things. That's why she's where she's at. Are you like, I'm confused. Are you like, and she was just like, well, uh, we could find some like funds or something to help take care, like, to take care of these things. And he was just like, you don't think I've looked into stuff like that? Like, ma'am, do you not think that he hasn't tried looking for every place that can take his mom on the salary that he has, the budget that he has? Like, girl, you overstepped. Y'all aren't even a couple. Y'all ain't even been on a date yet. Y'all just smashing. Why are you doing the absolute most for this man? I don't get it. And he says just as much. Like, he snaps at her and walks off. She feels away and she was just like, yeah, I overstepped. She feels away. He comes back, apologizes. She was just like, yeah, I apologize too. I overstepped. They hug it out. We see Ashley talking with Carlton. He comes to her to see if she booked the OR, and she was just like, oh, OR3. And he was just like, okay, what have you heard? So she was telling him, it's not the first time that a doctor or a nurse has gotten in their feels about something or whatever. And she tells him that she tells him to be that Kyle is something new and you are something familiar, so be less available, make Nicole curious, because right now he's giving eager. And he was just like, okay, well, thank you, that's what's up. So Nicole calls him to the office or whatever, to her office, and she invites him to go on a date or whatever. And he was just like, oh, that's to go on a date that night. And he was just like, oh, that's nice, but I already seen it and I can't make it, but I hope you enjoy. And he dips. And Nicole was just like, oh, okay. And so he took Ashley's advice. So hopefully it works. We shall see. But yeah, that was it. That was the episode. Not a lot happened this episode. It was a cute little one, I guess. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and turning on your post notifications so you'll know whenever I post. And I will see you guys in the next one.